Also, it's great exercise. Really, and some of it is cardiovascular. So one thing that I like to do with it is to stretch with it, right? You can put stretch bands. Um, you put you know, stretch bands have a loop through it. So you can put this. You can put this through the loop, right? Like so, and you can put your feet through it, right? And watch. I can do curls, right? I can do this band is a little there, like do 1 foot. Isn't that great? So actually, this giving me some ideas because Leslie said that she thought of that maybe doing a class and filming it, and for people who are sitting, you know, you got a gym, all right?
Mhm.
Do curls, you can do curls this way, right? Right? Um, this way, you can do this, all kinds of stuff. So, and for stretching, right? I use this all the time. I take it wherever I go. And if I'm sitting around, I'll just, you know, use it to stretch. Here's a really good one. I think I may have shown you. You grab it here, you bring it around here, and you. It's great for your for posture. Great if you're hunched like this. A lot of people. I don't have great posture, so this is helping me a lot. I could hardly do this about a month or two ago, and I do it every day. So I'm going to do it now. So I'm just doing this kind of thing here, right? And then I'm going to take it, put it in this hand, bring it around here, and do it like this. See? So do it on both sides. Um, let's see, what else can I tell you about it? So another exercise I do a lot, this is really good for your wrists and your arms. So Joni, check this out. So I go, and now, of course, I'm practicing at the same time, but I'm getting exercise. So here I'm learning how to use it. See, I'm not holding it like this. I'm holding it mostly through just the 3 fingers and the thumb, or these 2 fingers, really, because I want to make it kind of like a whip. I don't want to hold it too rigid. I want to be able to be a little bit flexible. So I'm going to practice here, a slash to the shoulder, right? Then I'm going to come across to the neck, and then I'm going to come down here like this to the side. And you can feel it in your arm. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And it helps with coordination. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now my left hand isn't as strong, and so I practice more with my left hand because I can already do it with my right hand. I want to be able to do it in both directions. And so forth. So here's some other exercises, Joni, that you can do. You got to be careful now. Is you hold it with the crook up and you twirl. And this is very effective. If somebody's coming at you and you start twirling like this and step in, you twirl and then you step in and you strike across like this. It's really a tremendous amount of force, you know, the rib cage. All right. And I can come in like this, and then I can grab it and come in like this with the other foot, and grab it and come in like this with the other foot, and so forth. You can do this sitting down, right? I can do this sitting down, right? I don't want to. I got furniture around here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're just going back and forth. So here's some more stuff you can do. You start to, I'm going to do the standing up because I have never practiced it sitting down. But you go from arm to arm. Here we go, right? If somebody's standing in front of you and you do this, they're not gonna attack. They can see right away that you know how to use this as a weapon. And then there's some fancy stuff you can do like this, right? So see if I can do it. And I'll take a little chance here. And so we're gonna come up and around here like this, right? Poke, take it, smack, right? Someone in the back of me, right? Somebody in front of me, right? Now, back of me, right? Turn around and so on and so forth. Um, so yeah, twirling, that's a lot of fun. Another one I like to do, this is a little bit more advanced, but if I were using cane this way, I'd come across and hit, right? And then I'm gonna change, I'm gonna come across this way and strike, and now I'm just gonna practice. And I'm just learned this one. Doing it, you do both hands, and the trick is not to hit yourself in the head when you're here and you're here. You're here and you're here, and you come around here. Now, when you come back, it's easy to hit yourself in the head. So you have to be able to grab it like this. All right. So enough of that nonsense.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It really is, even if you don't use it. I prefer to use, if I wanted to defend myself, I actually prefer to use Tai Chi. But something else I wanted to point out, in all the examples I showed you, I was just using the cane. I wasn't using my hands, but except one where did use I was holding the cane, but using my fist to punch something, right? And but you can use it's very effective to use my left hand to block and poke. For example, somebody throws a punch, I block the punch, and then I can come around, grab the wrist. It's very difficult to show you this. Turn around 180 degrees, and then come around with the cane. So I can use my hands and the cane in unison. They're complementary to each other. Block a strike and poke, or block a strike and hit. So I'm dealing with the immediate threat, right? But just simply warding off. And then I'm using the cane I'm using it here as like a defense, and now I'm using an offense. So you use your hands defensively, and your cane as an offense weapon. Yeah, right. Great for your wrist, right, and forearms, right. Okay. Do this, okay. And my favorite is you hold the cane like this, put it back, grab it,
Ah.
and you go the other way. You hold it like a bat, swing it back and around, grab it, and stretch. All right. What else can you do with a cane? You can do a an exercise where you hit this way, you hit this way, and you come around this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's really good exercise for your forearm, your wrist, your hands, your shoulder, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, right? 3. So this is a strike to the head, a strike to the ribs, to the rib cage. And this would be an overhead strike to the neck. So it's 1, 2, 3, like that. So get yourself a cane and practice cane fu. There's lots of cool stuff on YouTube, and a lot of it, almost all of it, really can be done sitting down. There's some kicks, but that's not really a important part of the of cane self-defense practice. There's lots of pokes like this, and then of course slashes, right? So here's another thing you can do with a cane that's very effective. If even if you're in sitting down, if somebody comes down with something, you block up. If somebody reaches out to grab you, you bring your cane up and you smack down. And then the most devastating one of all is just to simply take the cane and right up into the throat. So blocking down, blocking up, slashing, poking, and most effective of all, pushing out into the chest or even more effectively into the throat. So that'll stop anybody. You just bring the cane up like this and go like that. So I'm just going to go over some of the basics, and I'm going to grab my cane. So the kind of cane that Joni has, if you look at the crook of that, it's not really a crook, it's a handle. So there are different styles of canes. The style that she has there is more like the Chinese version of the cane that they use in the temples and they use for fighting. The only difference to show everybody the top. It's like a T on the top, like that, right? And you can hold either side, right? It's usually this one is designed so that you only hold one side, right? The Chinese version of it has a hammer on one side, which is longer, and then on the other side, the longer side, it has a point, which is used as a piercing, a weapon for piercing. So the hammer point is used for the point that's blunt is used as a hammer for striking, and the other side is used for tearing flesh. This is the more common version, or one common version here of the cane, and it has a crook. And cane that has a crook has particular applicability for fighting. Because so if Joni wanted to tell her partner to come here, and her partner wasn't cooperating, she could put the hook around her partner's neck and pull it in. So come here, you know. So you can use a hook to snare, to grab something, snare, and to pull down or pull across or pull back. So you can imagine if I go like that and I step back like this, I can pull some of that back and off balance, right? You can also reach around, grab somebody, and pull them forward. So then the cane has, so there's a lot of tactical uses of the crook. And one in particular I'm going to show you is using it to strike as a groin strike. I mean, this is a really devastating weapon. If I'm standing here and I have my cane, or even if I'm sitting, I'm going to do it in both modes. And I bring the cane up like this. All I need to do is step forward and thrust into the groin, and it's going to tear the flesh of the groin and it'll stop somebody in their tracks from coming at you. Since this is a sitting class, it's great. Joni has her cane, and she's had some real significant. She's a boxer. She knows how to throw a punch, and if you use it to come up like this, you're actually in the perfect position, right? If somebody's standing in front of you and harassing you, and it's really critical to do something about it, you jam this thing up into their groin. It can also be done in a more formalized style. So this would be more of a Chinese traditional form. Is you might come up like this and then keep coming around, and let me do it. I have to do it fast or it won't work. So I might strike this way and then continue rotating around and come up here like this into the groin. Um, so that'd be more, so that this would be more of an advanced form. You can also come back with this. If somebody's in back of you, I can flip the cane up like this and strike back, right? So I have the capacity of, for example, if I'm holding the cane this way, I can bring it up like this, and I can strike with the cane back using my mind's eye, imagining and sensing that somebody's in back of me and use the cane this way. I can also punch with the cane in this way. So I can step in like that. If I have the crook up, it's the same. If I have the crook down, it's the same. Punch like that. So that's not all. You can use the cane to kick. I can put this cane down here and kick this way, right? And that cane helps me get more pushing off the cane. I can kick. I have more balance, right, with this cane if I wanted to kick this way or kick this way or kick this way. So this is a fantastic weapon. Sometimes it's called a tool. And so we talked about what you can do with the tip, which is, in this case, it's sawed off, so it has a tip, so it's more effective, right? It's more like a weapon than if it were blunt like this. Most canes, when you buy them, they come like this, unless you buy a tactical cane. And so all I did was just cut it at a bias, so it becomes more like a point and more effective as a weapon. So you have the ability to grab around the neck. You can then use this as to tear flesh, like strike back here, strike over into the soft tissue here. You can strike into the jugular vein, which is fatal, right? I can use it this way, and I can also do. So I talked about the use of the tip. I talked about the use of the hook, and now you've got a point, right? And so you have the ability to poke, and usually you have to practice this. But even though this has a rubber tip on it to, basically protect it, and I have a dummy in the studio. I teach a course here, and I've got a dummy that we use to smack, and it has an arm, one arm out there. You can do push hands with it, but and I use it to use the arm as part of the dummy to. And I'm going to show you break this wrist, or to put it around here and grab through the other side and use leverage. You can do all kinds of things with the tip. Is basically poking. All right, you can poke with one hand like this, or you can poke with two hands. And a poke is a very effective form of defense and actually offense. If you poke and step back away, you're giving somebody a signal to stay away from you. Stop, right? And that'll usually stop it. You can do stop. You do two hands where you go stop like this. And then if they keep coming at you, you grab the cane and you step in, and you hit them in the solar plexus. And it not only causes a lot of damage, but it knocks the wind out of somebody. So you can go for here. You can also go here, right? Stop, and if they keep coming into the groin, and you can also come up here into the Adam's apple and break the windpipe. So there's the poke, and then you've got this part, which is used as like a sword, right? So you can use this to defend yourself, right? I can do this. Strike coming from this way. I can do this. I can do this, right? I can do this, right? And I can do this, right? So, so if some kick comes at me, I can parry this way, I can parry this way, right? I can strike to the knee, to the other knee, to the ribs, to the neck or shoulder, break the shoulder blade, the neck, or the side of the head, right? In both directions. And I'm going to be keeping my hand up here to protect myself, right? I can also use this like Tai Chi if Joni were to strike me with her right hand, she just sticks her right hand up, right? I come up the back and I break her elbow, right? Just coming up like that is going to break the elbow, especially if this, I can't see you, Joni, especially if this is made out of, this is made out of bamboo and it's just for practicing. But if it were made out of oak, I have one made out of oak, all you need to do is flip this up, it's going to break an elbow. You can also use the hook to grab around a foot and pull it in different directions. So you have the ability to defend yourself, right? To deflect, right? And even here, this way, as you're deflecting this way, you can deflect this way, right? And I can come, and then I can turn around and deflect this way, right? Or I can come around like this and strike, or in poke, right? Strike, come up and come around and strike at the ribs, poke, right? Parry, parry, and so forth, like that. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do with this cane, and oh, I want to say the reason I use this bamboo one is when you're practicing, sometimes you'll hit yourself, right? Like you hit yourself in the knee or even in the head, and even with this practice cane, it really hurts. I've actually hurt myself a couple of times, not badly, but if I were using my other cane, which is made out of oak. I had this one made for me. This is very hard, and there's a lot of momentum, right? There's a lot of momentum if you think of this is like a whip, right? This hand isn't moving very far, but look how fast the tip is moving. And if this is made out of wood, a really hard wood like oak, it's really gonna cause a lot of damage, and so it's really a fantastic weapon. So what I do here is I'm just kind of giving you an overview. I put notches in here on the handle so that if I were to use the cane, I'd be using it this way or this way, right? But if I wanted to prepare to use it to fight, I would just not make a big deal about it, but I would just drop my hand around these notches, right? And that makes it more easier to grab. And so here I'm just using the cane, and I might drop the cane to here, and now I have the ability to use it as a bat, right? So I just wanted to show you a little bit about that, and